Hey yo, this is Yana, and I'm rocking with DJ Pest.
Hey, what up? It's your boy DJ Pest, aka the Bad Guy, and on this episode, I'm gonna be sitting down with one of the rising voices in Arizona, Yana. She's been writing poetry and making up songs since she was a kid. That first studio session in 2020, that's the one that lit the fire. From that night on, Yana turned her passion into a lifestyle, writing, recording, and performing nonstop. Fast forward to 2025, she's built a real fan base, doing over 15 shows, and already dropping 4 songs. New songs are on the way. Her grind is different, and her confidence shows in every record. In this interview, we're gonna talk about everything: how she fell in love with music, her creative process, what keeps her consistent, and even some fun stuff like dream collabs, studio snacks, and who would play her in the movie. If you love hearing from artists who are real, relatable, and hungry for success, this one's for you. Tap in, check out my new exclusive interview with Yana, only on the DJ Pest Podcast.
So when I first started off, I was going by Yana and then Yana the Don. But because I had set my major platforms up for Yana, that's how the songs drop. I know how to fix it. But Yana Baby for sure though. That's what it is. It took me like 2 years to get there.
2 years to get there?
Yeah, I was conflicted. I was like, people was popping out like Ice Spice and 6ix9ine. I'm like, damn, but nah, Yana Baby is it.
You mentioned you were always writing and making up songs as a kid. Do you remember the first time you realized music was something that you wanted to take seriously?
Yeah. So in the third grade, I started taking choir, and I was really, really heavily into it to where I was actually taking choir outside of school. But I realized fast I could not sing. Like, but that really didn't drive me away from making music in general. I think that I dipped into another lane where I felt more comfortable and confident in, and that's where rapping came about. But before I knew, my family knew, and how my family knew is because I was a Barney kid and I was a hip hop Harry kid. So anytime I needed to clean up, do any kind of chores, I was like that kid that would be cleaning up, coming up with random ass songs. Yeah, it's been known.
So you started writing poetry before getting into music. How do those roots show you how you make your songs today?
Honestly, it took a really long time. That question's kind of hard. I think that all of it had everything to do with confidence. You know what I mean? I didn't even once I started to study writing more in high school and college because I took honors classes and that kind of stuff and journalism, extra little electives. Um, I didn't really even think about that at all. Probably until I was like 19 years old. I just turned 19 years old.
Which was what year was that?
That was 2020, July 2020.
The first night in the studio back in 2020 sounds like it changed everything for you. What was it about the moment that made you fall in love with creating?
The energy, the environment, the fun that came with it. In 2020, the first time I went to the studio wasn't even for me. It was for a friend of mine. It was both of our first time in there, and he's reading his lyrics and he's in there, and I'm like, damn, like this is definitely something I could see myself doing. Like I'm sitting here, reading my writing and stuff, and it doesn't intrigue me as much as it would in a song. You know what I mean? And I just felt drawn to it. And seeing him do that, I have to say, give him his credit where his due, definitely inspired me to open up a new hobby and explore that, and then find interest and passion in that, and then shoot off from there.
So let's talk about the growth of you being an artist. You dropped your first song in September 2020. How has your sound evolved since then?
If there was a way I could physically show you, you would giggle so hard. I think that when I first started, so first of all, when I dropped that very first song, it was on a the baby type beat, which was crazy because the baby was booming in 2021 through, during that time. And I just think that my vocabulary when I first started was weak. My rhyme scheme was weak. There was really not too much bars. The only thing that I had though was the energy and the excitement. You know what I mean? And the hype. And I think that over time, as I strengthened my writing abilities and my vocabulary and studying different words like synonyms and antonyms and stuff like that, um, my flow was able to like speed up. My all of that shit was able to connect, and over the years just continue to excel. Every single time I put the pencil to that pad, it's 100% better than whatever the fuck I wrote. Even yesterday. Even yesterday.
It hit you fast. I mean, you started making music in 2020, and then by the time 2023 and to up to 2024, you did 10 to 15 shows before taking a break to focus on your music catalog. What did that break teach you about yourself and your artistry?
That break taught me that the turtle wins the race. That break taught me that you are at competition with anyone, with no one, and just yourself. And I felt like during that break, I went through a lot of mental health issues, and some of that had to do with me comparing how I'm doing in my music career or in life in general to my peers that are the same age as me and what they're doing. And I think that it discouraged me a lot because I felt like I wasn't doing enough. Instead of taking the time to look at where I was, my environment, my situations, and why couldn't I? And that's what separated us. You know what I mean? And so I was like, instead of, being discouraged instead of falling down and laying there, it's time for me to get the fuck up. So if I can't get in the studio and I can't afford this and I can't afford that, what I can afford to do is open that notepad on my phone.
In September and October, you already released 4 songs. What inspired this new wave of consistency from you?
Stability, happiness, you know what I mean? Experiences. I feel like once you remove yourself from spaces that hinder your mental development and your mental development, it could hinder a lot of your passions as well. And I think that once I moved out of that certain space and began to get my life together, shit, I felt joyous, happy, and I had to express that because man, like the shit that I went through within this last year really did create who the type of artist that I am today, and I just am forever blessed for that.
Well, you step into a studio now. How do you approach creating compared to when you first started?
When I first started, I wasted a lot of goddamn money going in there without having my songs fully completed, without having any idea of what kind of sound I was trying to create in the first place. I would just lay down what I wrote, and then the ad libs and the doubles and the sound come after and develop then. But I think now when I'm writing my songs and producing my music, not only am I writing the lyrics, but I know exactly what kind of background cadences I want, exactly how I want my backing vocals to lay beneath my mains. I think that, I went to CRAS, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned I went to CRAS, got my audio engineering degree. And that was after I had already started rapping. Once I became engineer, that right there like shifted my entire production as an artist because I started to understand how to create the sound that I wanted to create without somebody creating it for me.
What's your writing process like? Do you still approach songs like poetry, or are you just approaching it as an artist? How has your style changed over time? Because poetry is what got you where you are.
I write about exactly what the fuck I'm going through. And I think that when I first started, I was making songs to I was making songs that I thought that was gonna please an audience and pull people in. And now as an artist, I make songs because this is really what it is and this is who I am. And if you fuck with me, you're gonna like it. And if you don't fuck with me, then it ain't for you. You know what I mean? So when I get a beat, you know what I mean? If this is what I'm feeling at that time, or this is what I'm going through, or this is some shit that happened and it's on my mind, I'm gonna lay that shit down.
Well, do you prefer writing alone, or do you like vibing in the studio with other creators?
I definitely prefer to write alone. There's a very few times, but I guess I have to have some type of rapport with these creators in a sense. Like for example, Jay. You know what I mean? Jay is an artist that I can sit and vibe with and really create some shit with. And me and Jay have about 5 years of rapport. You know what I mean? He's definitely one of those artists. So I don't want to say that I don't, but I would prefer. You know what I mean? But you know me, I'm charismatic. I can get, I can do it. But
But what you prefer is to be alone.
exactly because it challenges me to think on my own and use my own mind.
You describe music as something you've turned into a lifestyle. What does that mean for you on a daily basis?
A lot. First of all, I have a project coming for y'all in December that I'm ecstatic about. I think about this shit every day. So Monday through Friday, I'm a security guard. I work for Allied. But I sit in my goddamn car the entire time. I don't it doesn't require me to do anything. So I get to work, you know what I mean? I eat, I feed my mind, and I'll literally whatever beat I'm working on at that time for whatever project, I'll throw that motherfucker on and I'll sit in that damn car for about 2, 3 hours and write. And if I can't get what I'm trying to get out of that beat, I'm gonna move on to the next one and I'm gonna come touch back on you later. Like I do this shit every day. And I just explained that to my girlfriend. It's like, I've been doing Rock the Mic with you for like the last 4 or 5 Tuesdays, and it's been killing me sleep wise, but that's not even just that, you know what I mean? I've been doing other shows. I've been paying people to promote me here and promote me there. I've been staying up late writing, talking to my producer, sending him reference tracks, you know what I mean? Trying to figure out, oh, what kind of content can I make for this? What's going to draw people out on this? um I have a lot of work to do and a lot of artist development that I'm working on that I acknowledge. And I definitely take in a lot of the advice that I'm getting from others already in the industry because it matters to me. You know what I mean? So and this is every day.
You talked about performing at my showcase for the last 4 or 5, and then you performing at other shows too. So actually, you performed over 15 shows so far. Which performance has been the most memorable for you, and why?
I think Blue Diamond's event was the most memorable for me. And the only reason why is because Blue Diamond's event was basically me, my first time stepping back out and getting back into being active. The last time I did a show was a Rock the Mic event with you, and I believe that was when you were on. I don't know if it was Indian School. I think it was Indian School. Um, that was my last one, and that was about 2 years ago. And going to Blue Diamonds again, I was very nervous. I was very scared. Out of shape. I had the jitters. I'm in a brand new relationship. My girl's gonna come and see me as an artist for the first time. I got friends I haven't talked to since high school. You're the host. I was excited to talk to you. Like, it was a lot of jitters, and I think that the way that the show turned out and the amount of support and love that I got really gave me the momentum to turn this shit up a notch. And so I want to say shout out to Blue Diamond because I can't appreciate her enough for that opportunity to really give me that push that I needed. You know what I mean?
Shout out Blue
So
Diamond.
shout out to Blue Diamond. She did that.
How has your growing fan base been motivating you to keep dropping more music in 2025?
I know that before I started dropping, like right before a couple months, I was telling my girl I felt like, I was scared to do it because I didn't have the support. You know what I mean? And it's like now that I'm doing it, and even, with the rock the mic that we just did, the $500 contest, the things that the judges said to me, really, really made me feel good. The way that the artist treated me, even though we're all competing, made me feel good, pushed me. The conversations that me and you've had directly, even with Danielle. You know what I'm saying? Like it just seems like a lot of people are rooting for me, and I feel like it's helping me root for myself, if that doesn't sound too crazy.
No, it don't sound crazy.
Because like I said before, I started getting back active, and then I was very, very hesitant due to that reason. I felt like shit, you know what I mean? Like I'm kind of nervous. It's like doing a show for the first time, and that's what it was for me.
When you're on stage performing, what kind of energy do you want your fans to feel when they see Yana hit the stage?
I want them to feel excited. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to when I hit the stage, I'm trying to bring this energy where it's like, you feel me? This shit is lit. This shit is hype. But not only is it lit or it's hype, it's making sense. And really and truly, a lot of the stuff that I talk about in my music, everybody's been through that shit. Everybody's been through that shit. So when they start to get the cadence on my hooks, bitches ain't solid, these bitches ain't like that kind of cadence and shit. I want my fans to bounce every time. I want them to bounce. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm looking for. Like even with ain't talking no money. Niggas ain't talking no money. You feel me? Bounce.
So, what can your fans expect next? More singles, and EP, visuals?
Whew, so much work. Let me break it down to you. So as y'all know, I've been single for 2 years, but hey, I done hop back in a relationship and I fell in love. So with that being said, in December, I'm dropping a little EP. Now, all of my music in the past is very party, very hype, very rappy. But I feel like with this EP that I'm about to drop, you guys are definitely gonna get a different side of me. This EP is more so on some love song drill kind of thing. And it's honestly like a West Coast times New York times drill with these beats. They're very catchy, very sweet. It's really some shit that you could post your girlfriend to.
What's the ultimate goal for you as an artist? When it's all said and done, how do you want people to remember Yana?
I want people to remember me as a bright, charismatic, outgoing energy, a positive energy. I try my best to be as positive as I can towards everybody, unless you do some weird shit. But towards everybody, you know what I mean? Encouraging. That's how I want to be remembered, honestly. And the ultimate goal for me as an artist is I'm not trying to be no A-list celebrity or signed to no big record deal because I'm just simply not selling myself. But I want to be able to, you know, make a little bit of money, of course, but I wanna be able to, you feel me, lift people up. You know what I'm saying? Turn people up, get people hype. You know what I mean?
If your music had a flavor, what would it taste like?
That shit'll taste like warm apple pie with some vanilla ice cream on the side.
What's one song you've made that your friends won't stop quoting or singing back to you?
If niggas ain't talking no money, then niggas ain't talking about shit.
I knew he was gonna say that. I knew he was gonna say that one. Okay, all right. If you could swap lives with any artist for one day, who would it be and why?
Chris Brown. Because all lesbian aside, that is the most beautifulest, most talentedest human being to ever walk the planet. Him.
Studio vibe check. Are you more candles or chill or lights low or straight turn up?
Straight turn up.
What's your go-to snack or drink when you're recording?
I don't snack while I'm recording at all, but my go-to drink, tequila.
What's a random fun fact about you that your fans would never guess?
In high school, I won homecoming king and beat a bunch of boys, and they got on social media calling me a dyke.
Okay, yo, you really you really hit me some stuff I didn't know. Okay, okay, all right, all right,
I got the
all right.
receipts.
Okay, if you weren't making music, what do you think you'd be doing right now?
Does engineering count as making music?
Um, uh, yeah, it doesn't
Kind of,
count.
huh?
I mean, I
It doesn't though. I'm not making music. I'm producing. I could say auto engineering because I have a degree in that. But outside of that, definitely a business owner. So before I got my audio engineering degree, I was in college for um, a business degree, but I was also a college athlete. I played basketball my whole life, and then I tore my ACL and broke my foot, and that's how that ended. But I was in a university for a business degree, and then ended up going to CRAS. Even after CRAS, I had went to UEI for HVAC, but fuck HVAC.
who would play you in a movie about your life?
Who would play me about my shit? Pest.
Yes.
I don't know, bro.
What's a lyric from your own music that you get tattooed on yourself?
BAS, bitches ain't solid. They're not.
This is the last round of questions. Quick shots. Late nights or early mornings?
Late nights,
Studio sessions or live performances?
high performances,
Sweet or spicy?
sweet.
Gotta ask. Heels or sneakers?
Nigga sneakers.
Dream collab. Male artist or female artist? Go.
Future. That's my male. Female. Dej Loaf.
First thing you do when you wake up?
Brush my teeth.
What's the one thing you've always had in your bag?
Cause you know what studs wearing or having their backpack.
Oh,
You
all
know
right.
what I got in my damn backpack.
Yo, that is going to be the clip. All right. All right. All right. Yana, where can people find you at on social media?
Y'all can find me at Yana Baby, 2 Y's at the end, .ent. Follow the kid. Hey yo, this is Yana, and I'm rocking with DJ Pest.